I think the Michelin star. I'm actually annoyed that it's coming to Philly, just because I feel like it could throw off some quality places we already know if they really try it for it. But like I said, there's not.
Dude, I don't agree with you. I know people are saying that, and it's like gonna throw off the vibe of the city. Welcome back to the Brewdad Podcast. I'm your host, Richie Tevlin, joined as always by Evan Blum.
Hello.
And today we have on the man, Mysterio, djour.philly.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, if you haven't seen who you are, djour.philly, is it djour.philly on Instagram?
Yeah, it's on Instagram, TikTok, Reddit. There's our djour. So
Cool. So you're blowing up all over the place. You're on social media. You have the website. You have the map. So we're here to talk all about the Philadelphia local beer and food situation.
Absolutely.
You're an expert, a masked expert. So we won't get into who you are. If you are not watching, you need to get on YouTube right now and subscribe, 1. And 2, you need to see what you guys are wearing right now.
He stole my look.
there might be a match right now.
Yeah,
Someone is going through this.
You guys need to throw down at some point here.
This table has been needed to go away for quite a long time, so
I'll happily oblige. One of us is going through it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen like djour on Instagram, like you wear a luchador Rey Mysterio mask. Right tonight you have the Phillies on.
Of course.
And then Evan is rocking one too.
yeah, there's some history with this one as well. So
probably smells like beer.
They always smell like beer.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get into it. I mean, like, how did you? Why are you sitting in front of us with a luchador mask on right now?
Yeah. So I mean, I've been enamored with food my whole life, and specifically like food media and restaurants specifically. I worked in like food industry for like a cup of coffee, nothing really too advanced. I was like on like the dishy side, front of house side. I was kind of doing everything from prep cooking, line cooking, but the big thing was the map was really kind of the thing that jettisoned it. It was like the drive to kind of have an alternative to Yelp and have something that was more from people focused, more for the community of Philadelphia. And the mask was something I kind of realized from Craig LaBan, if you know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got it, right?
So that's not like his shtick, but he started doing podcast appearances. I think maybe it was just specifically the Delicious City, but I just saw he started doing that since he's been the renowned incognito food critic. I was like, that is the coolest thing ever. And the one thing I didn't realize until I started doing this was it gives me the luxury of kind of being a little bit more off the cuff, not having too much like withholding of like kind of being crass or maybe saying an unpopular opinion because or not even just that, but also the side of getting fanfare, because if you have if you're notable by your face, whether it's 1,000 followers or 10,000, people will be like, I know who that is. I'm giving them the best experience ever. So you can't really be too authentic with an experience. You're getting something a little bit fluffed up.
Definitely.
So that's kind of I want like the real OG experience, so it can be like critical, constructively on that, you know. So that's kind of where the mask came from. It was just something where I want to keep the peace of mind of I'm getting like a real experience, but also making sure I'm not doing anything for like fame or anything like that. Just keeping it.
It's
100.
like V for Vendetta, where you're just like you hide behind the mask to be true and.
Yeah.
It's like it makes it like from a face value, no pun intended. Like it seems like, oh, this is fake. He's hiding behind this, but it really comes from a place of like, no, you're being more authentic.
I mean, people will take it however they want. People can get mad about it or they can love it, but it's something I enjoy doing, and also I love Craig LaBan. He's been doing it forever, even before I was born. So anything, I hope I'm not ripping his flow or anything like that, but I just love that idea and just kind of an homage in some capacity.
Definitely. Yeah, there's a reason why he's where he's at. Like all of his reviews are like so true and honest, and it's just like he has like great taste and everything. But yeah, I mean, I remember reading him when I was like young. Like I don't think I was reading food blogs, but like I knew who that guy was when I was growing up.
Yeah, same here. I've always been obsessed with food stuff. Like I crushed like games like Cooking Mama or Watch Chowder or all that stuff. And he was a name I've always heard of, whether it was like just sifting through articles online. Not like I was like a 13-year-old reading through Philly Inquirer, but I always just, it popped up, and I'm always like, it's just the coolest thing to have that kind of mystique. And even though it may not be warranted in the same capacity of him, even by a marginal level, but it's still just a cool thing to kind of have that legacy, not legacy, but have that kind of motif in a way, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah. And it's great for social media too, which I'm sure we'll talk through a little bit about as well. But it's a sick look, and it's really original in the area. You probably can't take me serious at all.
You look scholarly.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do.
I've done my time.
You got your glasses on with the Mysterio mask on.
Yeah, I don't like when you turn a certain way. Like my one side of my vision is completely blocked. It's an adjustment. Yeah, for sure.
Don't take this wrong way. You kind of look like Franklin the Turtle right now. The green. So when I first saw you, not to change subjects, when I first saw you, I saw your Instagram. Like, it was great food content, but you said it was coming from the map first, and that it was really, that makes sense. I mean, the map thing is like legitimate business. Is that what, like, you saw the Yelp, and like Yelp just turned into like to like the cesspool of reviews, and you're like, I need something that's like a little bit more standardized?
Yeah, it's something I wanted community first, whether it was like, because I saw better alternatives in terms of like people having conversations through like whether it was like Reddit or different forums or Discords or whatever, where people had more earnest conversations about the food scene.
Yeah.
And Yelp is fine on a quick hit, but it doesn't give you enough like true understanding. If people have weird history with reviews, people will give it for the sake of criticizing staff, which I think is, I get it, but I think it's a dumb way to like rate a restaurant.
In the brewing industry, we had the same thing with Untappd,
which is ridiculous.
And it's just like Yelp is now turned into Google reviews, which is now like turning into a cesspool into itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the Untappd is like the same thing, where it's like it's just crazy stuff all the time, and you're like, I'm getting like a general idea about like what the number of these beers are ranked at, but like, a lot of this you're reading, and it's just like, this is not real reviews. This is just like politicized bullshit.
Dude, I remember a story where I heard, I couldn't confirm the truth, so I always like to kind of put that asterisk before it. But I remember when I was at a restaurant I was working in the past, the manager was so convinced that he was having a ratings war with a neighboring restaurant, so he intentionally wrote reviews of bad stuff about another restaurant, which I always, but as soon as I heard that, I was like, all right, yeah, this not the most reliable source of understanding if a place is good or not, but that's where I came in with the map, where it's just something I want to convey. It's the food first, because like you can rate service bad and all that, but that doesn't actually constitute quality of like the food, because at the end of the day, that's what you're spending money, that's what you're going out spending your time for. So that's the big thing for me, is because at one point I was a server and I sucked. I was a terrible server, and there might be a bad review of me out there somewhere, but at the end of the day, if that's what you're constituting as quality of a restaurant, then you shouldn't blame it on some like shitty undergrad, you know? So
yeah. So you started the map. Are you a programmer? Like, how do you like come up with like, all right, this is the kind of how I get started with this?
Yeah. So
your website's great. It's like,
you.
it's very clean. It's very simple. But like, you're looking at it, and it's like it operates perfectly. But there's not much to it, but it's designed very well.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, it's more so because it's not optimized like in terms of like SEO or like built to really be monetized. Because how like a lot of like publications get money is they have like 8 million articles on the website that they can just keep filling with other ads, because their plan is to keep people on the site, because that means more ad revenue, more money.
Yeah.
And I'm just going for like a resource, something you may come back like maybe once a week and just be like, oh, let's see what's in the area I'm in now, or like anything new, you know? And that's kind of the fun of that. But
hey, just watch with the tapping, because even if you tap a little bit, it just bangs through.
sorry,
FYI.
pseudo-Italian. No, but it comes down to just wanting a good resource.
Yeah.
And not trying to I have no intention to really monetize to an egregious amount,
but I just want it to be like a fun resource people can rely on.
It's a balance, you know, like not when you sell out, but it's like when do you take the step? Some people like take it too early. Some people like don't do it correctly, where they're just like, you know, this is the easy way out is to get a quick dollar right now, and then it like instantly drops the value of the resource that you're providing. So like, what's the balance of like, you know, like you're providing quality information, but then like you're able to kind of like monetize it or like sustain it?
Well, the one thing with it is the map is the last thing I'm trying to really monetize with it. If anything, is going to be kind of the social aspect.
Okay, cool, yeah.
That's more of like where I'd kind of lean into it, because also I think there's more of it's more advantageous anyway that way, because like websites are kind of, unless you build it for the sake of trying to be monetized, then maybe if any type of advertisement, it would be very unabrasive to the content. Like the map is kind of like untouchable, that never getting altered. There may be like something adjacent like below it or to the sides or something, but the concept of like having a pay for play type stuff, which is kind of like how a lot of like these bigger things like Yelp or whatever, not Belly but Yelp, if they have any semblance of pay for play or sponsored markers, like that's completely out of the question.
Yeah,
because as soon as you do that, then everyone's just gonna like, okay, that's untrustworthy, I'm gonna go. The whole reason people would use it is based on trust. So
yeah.
How does Belly make their money?
That's a good question. It's most likely going to be through ad revenue. It's not going to be through the same way as Yelp. If I were to guess, they're probably running pretty lean in terms of a company size, so they can prioritize how they make money instead of just trying to maximize the bottom line and doing anything they can.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a good question, honestly. I would assume just through some semblance of advertising, but I know they're not doing the same like level of like sponsored pay for play.
Yeah. Belly's a great app as well.
Yeah, I agree.
When you started doing the map, because I know like we worked together like a little bit in the past. Like the first thing like came to mind was Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think we talk enough about Reddit on the podcast and just like how powerful Reddit
It's like
is.
the silent social media that nobody talks about. Everyone's talking about like Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and it's like Reddit is just this beast that has like probably less users, but it's a much stronger community.
100%, and that's what made like me leaning into Reddit more. It kind of worked out that way because I started doing it because of the Philadelphia Eats subreddit, who I have a massive love for, and I've been conversating and just like learning so much from them. I've trusted them a lot, and the truth is that community can really only be formed when it's in a place like Reddit, because the truth with Instagram is there's a lot of clout chasing. There's a lot of saying what's popular to just get ahead. And when it's on Reddit, you're just kind of like a nameless, faceless guy.
You can upvote and downvote on Reddit.
Yeah, you can upvote and downvote, but also like you're not going to gain anything from trying to be like an influencer wouldn't exist really on Reddit, because like people will just not care. Like they rather just talk about their honest opinions, whether right or wrong. But
it's like what you're doing. It's like the faceless.
It is kind of. I'm definitely not trying to be just a Redditor, but I do love the community there in terms of just conversation. And I've started doing a lot of my own Reddit posting with like my own subreddit and stuff like that. And the truth is, like how it doesn't mirror with Instagram in that regard, is there's not a lot of engagement. But that's why a lot of people are more off put by trying to build something on Reddit, because like you might get 5 people to like it. And maybe 3 people, maybe 30 people dislike it for some reason. But the truth is there's a lot of people there who have a lot of passionate opinions. And if you can start to build a community.
They're reading it. When you're watching like TikTok or Instagram, it's just like instant, like liking, swipe.
That's also a good point.
Reddit is very much intentional.
What's that word? Bounce rate? Like there's a lot of like, if people in that community rather than just like next. Which, I think that's just better for the brain in general instead of just the slot machine of reels. But also it's just good for the sake of community building and like people who like to read and really like learn more in depthly, which, you know, pros and cons of Reddit as well. It's not the perfect social media, but I definitely think it's a nice alternative. And since, like I said, big Craig LaBan guy, so like to read, so that's kind of the natural direction for me in terms of learning and engaging, stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw he did Ask Me Anything a couple of years ago, and it went like...
Did I?
No, he did.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'm doing too much work. I'm completely just losing track of everything I do.
No. He did. He did. It was very interesting, kind of like what he was saying.
Oh, yeah. Those are always interesting, just to kind of like get true conversation. Well, relatively, it's a little bit, tempered,
but it's always just nice to hear and kind of like long form, even though it's not YouTube's more long form or podcasts are long form, but just kind of that middle of the road between that slot machine or undigestible short term stuff while still being kind of quick. So
Yeah. So when did you start the Instagram? Because your Instagram is blowing up. You're going viral on everything. Everything has like thousands of likes on it. Like,
yeah.
when did you start that, and how did you get so good at it so fast?
I think I just hit my 2-year mark on it.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. You
You've
should
been
start
posting
taking notes.
consistently since.
I've been posting consistently for about a year.
Okay.
So my first year was kind of like a little bit more like micro influencer level, which was like, like maybe a couple times a week on occasion, long breaks, nothing. And the fortunate of it is that I got laid off from my job. So I was like, well, while I look for another job, I have a lot more time to like kind of churn it out. So it kind of became an opportunity to work at like almost like a full-time length,
Yeah.
which helped me get to that point. And that was a big year because the first one was, fine. And then the second one was a lot of traction and a lot of mobility. And like you said, with a lot of likes and stuff like that, I think the big thing I've been doing is kind of have that weird in between guise of like a publication with like the Djour brand, but also still influencer with the masked up guy kind of telling stories.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
because it's less of like just like this random guy, and it's a little bit more like a crazy amount of research on stuff like that. Like a lot of the big thing lately has been the picture post with the graph. That has been doing very well.
They've been killing it, and I'm so, like, I'm not like, I'm a little surprised because like carousel posts and just not being a reel is like already tough.
Well, I think
yeah.
I don't know how exactly the algorithm works, but it's like how long you're looking at something. And it's like a video does better than picture because like you have to like watch the video. But when you're looking at those graphs, like I zoom in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, am I looking at stuff? Am I like, do I agree with this? Do I agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
And you have like multiple factors in there. It's just like, with the circle ones, it's just like, one, I agree with like 95% of what you're saying. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But then also it's like, you're seeing all these, they do a lot of times with like, college football or college teams or college like programs like party versus football schools. They show school versus party, and they rank like everybody. So like you get to like, all right, it's like almost like where's Waldo? Like where's my local spot fit in against everybody else?
That's 100% true. The cool but also annoying thing about like Instagram or any type of social media you run on is in the next quarter they'll change exactly what to prioritize. Because I remember when I first got on like 2 years ago, it was all about quick choppy, like having a 10-second video was like the goal, and like not even like maybe even 5, so it repeated and then it just kept people hanging on. That changed to having a lot more long form type stuff, so you have to adapt to whatever they throw at you, because you can't 100% do whatever you want in the stick, but you still have to be authentic and original. So that's the biggest balance with it all. But like you're saying with the graph, I think it has that effect of like people hang on to it more. They look around. I think there's a lot.
I'm sure they don't say this, but I'm sure there's just some sort of like algorithmic thing. Like, are you zooming in on a picture?
Oh,
and
100%.
It's like because I'm zooming in at all your pictures. You have so much information on there.
Any type of like activity, I think they have to track.
Definitely, Amazon does that too. It's like it's like every single pixel they see like where people are clicking.
Monsters.
And it's like,
I get it, but like
they do like
crazy.
the A/B test of like how much you buy, where the buttons are placed, and like the way that your content is, it feels very much like it's like curated towards like me, like just looking at it for a couple minutes.
That's crazy you say the A/B testing. That was what I was doing with like my previous job, and it's funny to think that like that's so much of that like data analysis is just circulating around like how the algorithm functions. Those little nuances are just mind melting. They're just it's so weird. It's so like inhuman, like the level of like intricacy. But like I get it, like in terms of it works, But
it's like offense versus defense. It's like someone throws stuff out, and then like like the tush push. Anything that like it takes like defenses like the next year to like figure out how it works. It feels like that's how social media is. Like they throw stuff out, and it takes everybody like a little bit to like figure out how their algorithm works.
That's 100% right, honestly. Just that like literally there's some new thing that comes into the game that you have to figure it out. And you can't just be like the Packers, like just try to be like, actually, can we ban that? It's not cool. You're too good at it. Shut up.
Yeah.
No,
Let's
like-
make threads illegal.
Make threads illegal.
So like on those types of posts, you have maybe like I'm spitballing like 50 places, 40 something places
It depends.
on like whatever the item I guess is, the category of
Yeah.
food is.
Some I definitely went big on cheesesteak because it made sense for Philadelphia.
Has
That one
to.
had like that could have had like maybe 80.
Damn.
Like that was a big one to
And
do it.
The comments probably on that too is just enamored.
That one was definitely the best one. The funny thing with it is the unfortunate thing how we're talking about like almost like the weird side of social media, and the dark side is like the one thing that bites so much right now is like negativity and like engagement in the bad way. Like people love to, and it makes sense. People love to say something negative. And
All of our posts where someone talks shit or someone like
that's the
says something
game,
crazy,
bro. It's so dumb.
we get 10 times as many likes.
Isn't
It's
it
like the second someone says something bad, it's just like it's almost like we're like, all right, great. We're like, this is like gonna be an amazing post.
Well, that's the game with like rage bait. Like that's the term for like.
What's rage be?
Rage bait is like.
Oh, you're like just saying crazy stuff so people respond to it.
Yeah, it's just baiting engagement, which unfortunately works, which is stupid, and people say that I'm doing that by putting like their spot in like a 2 instead of a 3 or something like that, which I get it, but no, I think it's crazy that like that's incentivized. It's harboring such a negative ecosystem for your like it's almost like negative community building, where
Yeah.
like you're harvesting like a community of people to like have ill will on what you post. Like they're almost sticking around just waiting for you to say something that they can bitch at you for.
Yeah.
It's juvenile stuff, and they won't change it, which is dumb.
Well, I heard that, like, I've never, like, ripped through TikTok comments, but I heard that TikTok does, like, curate towards more positive comments.
Definitely.
Like they
Instagram.
downvote, like, they, like, rank where your comments are located, and, like, the more negative ones, they put at the bottom. It's like they try to make it a more positive platform.
Yeah. I don't understand. Now that you mention it, I have no idea how Instagram actually like utilizes their comments because it's just random. It's not like the most recent.
Yeah.
It's not like the best. It's just kind of like whatever they feel like. But I agree with that. I don't really look at TikTok comments all too much, but it's definitely a little bit more like they hide than like truly like kind of controversial ones, which is way better of an algorithm move. And eventually, the truth is, TikTok does something, and Instagram's just gonna copy in about like 3-4 months anyway. So
Yeah.
that's how it is. So.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out.
Go ahead.
With your like the restaurants that you're putting on these like the research, like how much research are you doing into all these spots, and like how are you doing that research?
I have no idea, honestly, time wise. It's sifting through every aspect, every nook and cranny of the internet, from Reddit to there's a lot of like Philly discords. There's Facebook where you can kind of get some comments. You can kind of sift through Yelp a little bit, but that takes a lot of time. Sometimes I do that. Belly's also a good resource. So
Okay.
anything that's a resource out there, I'm almost like trying to do a big compile of consensus instead of just something that's one note.
Yeah.
So
And that the reason I respect it so much, and it's like I could tell how much effort's into that is like when we did the thing with the beer collab, you came to us like asking about the different beers, like what makes sense for this category, and I'm like, well, let me ask the experts.
coolest thing ever, by the way. That was such a fun experience.
It was sick. It was sick.
It's
But
like
you put so much effort into like really getting the on hand like legit source.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's the goal, is to get as kind of as authentic of an answer as you possibly can, and also not just authentic from one source, but just as broad as you possibly can, because it's obviously cool to get because everyone has a bias in some capacity. Like my bias is I'm too food centric, probably. Like service I don't care about, so it could be honestly like the slummiest like poppy store, and I'd probably love it if the food's really good. But I don't care about if someone's yelling at my face and saying like get the fuck out of here, like, which that's a bias. So it's good to have not just one person saying something, but getting everyone and understanding biases. For like example, how we were just talking about with social media, how it's kind of, or specifically Instagram harbors a lot of negativity. That's kind of the same thing with Yelp, because if you think about it, a lot of people are more willing to say something negative instead of sharing something positive. Like, if you had a good experience at a restaurant, you're not really going to go on there and say, like, yeah, it was a good place. You're going to, if something bad happens, that's when you're actually going to be like, you know what, I got to let them know.
If I put a microscope to what my dad has said on Yelp, it would be nasty.
I'm against all this stuff, so it's like I feel bad even saying it, but like I've never said anything negative about somebody online like that, because like I feel like, you know, if I put stuff out, like people are gonna do that to me, but I've never had, and maybe I should change this, I've never had a nice experience someplace to be like, let me go write something nice about them.
Yeah.
But sometimes I've thought about, when I have that bad experience, I need to write something about this, and I never have. But I feel like I'm just more inclined to do something when it's negative.
I 100% agree. I think that's almost like a weird, like, innate, like, human thing to do, because it's almost I need to, like, warn people instead of, like, if something's good, it's like, oh, that's cool.
It's almost like human nature. Like, let me warn the rest of the pack that
there's that, but
was a
also
douche.
there's almost like an like people have like high expectations. Like, if you go to a place and it's good, it's like, well, it should have been. Like, I don't need to tell people it should be good. You know? There's that weird type of expectation, and if something is not to someone's standards, you will just grill people. And there's definitely like shorter tethers that a lot of people online will have. They'll definitely a little bit more heated in that regard, you know.
Yeah. Have anybody like has the Inquirer or any of these any publications, have they reached out to you and they're like, we want to make you like a featured thing? Because you're getting so much more attention than some of these like established, you know, legit publications. I don't want to say legit, but like publications that have been around for like maybe 100, I don't know how old these places are, like 100 years.
Oh, yeah.
Inquirer's probably 300 years old. But like some of these places, like the content that you're putting out is getting way more attention than them. Like I feel like
they would kill for
the
attention.
They should, and you're putting out legit stuff. They'll do like the green screen stuff where they talk in front of like whatever news article they wrote. But like, why wouldn't they bring somebody like you on to talk on like the Inquirer food page about, you know, your thoughts?
Listen, I would love to be like a dream job, like whether I earn it or not would be the protege of Craig LaBan. But realistically, I would love to do that. Like having some capacity of like working in publication, because like my passion is food journalism, food media. And that's like the coolest thing ever is being able to talk restaurants, go out and eat food on their dime. Like, I just love every aspect of restaurants and food. So I think it's always tough for existing publications trying to be that. Just because, I don't know, it's difficult when you're like an established brand known for like magazines and stuff like that or online publications. It's hard to kind of break the ceiling into a younger generation. It's so tough, especially because like it feels like people gravitate to like individuals because it's more of feels less kind of influenced by some capacity. I don't know how to describe it, but when it's just one person, it's a little bit more kind of intimate in terms of the conversation and a little bit more personable. Whereas with a publication, it's like, you know, it's the current wave of distrust of media. You know, like even if it's a food thing and it's a big publication, people have a little bit more apprehension of pure trust. But if it's just this guy that I've watched a long time and watched him grow in harbor community, it's like, like I have a little bit more of a rapport with them. You know, even if you don't comment or like, it's just that kind of like.
Yeah, but I feel like they could partner with you and be like, you know, this is the Djour segment of the Inquirer.
That would be awful. God,
you know what I'm saying? It's like it's letting you do your thing, but then they get to take advantage of like, you know, like I feel like you've proven yourself. Like you put out enough content that's just like, this is my resume. You know what I don't do.
No, it's funny. Like if I could have applied to a job that said like, I want to work in like social media with food, and I'd be like, hell yeah. But the thing is, like, jobs like that don't exist, you know, because it's just like, you know, it's a gamble. Social media is always a head scratcher, and you rather just do it in house. But like, I would love that.
I think they're just not thinking about it. I think the leadership there, I'm just saying the Inquirer just because they're the biggest, but like I think established publications are looking at the numbers that you're, or maybe they're not looking at the numbers that you're putting out. Like, why are they not using you? Who was the Jacob Does Philly? Jacob Eats Philly?
Jacob Does Philly, yeah.
Jacob Does Philly. He's doing the same thing where like he has made a brand out of himself, you know, talking about, posting stuff all the time, you know, getting all this attention. And we were talking about before you came on, like, you know, like getting the quick hits is good, going viral is quick, but you guys are putting out so much content that like everyone is kind of agreeing with most of what you guys are saying.
I wouldn't
So
go
it's
that
like-
far. There's definitely some people that love the chirp, and
I mean, you're just hearing it, like, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
looking at it, like, what you're putting out is good. You're just seeing the trolls come out
Sure,
because
yeah,
you're
yeah.
getting all the attention.
yeah, that comes with the territory.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. And yeah, Jacob's a legend doing that same type of food hustle. But yeah, no, I think the Inquirer could lean into it in some capacity, but it also has the issue of being inauthentic, because if they try to copy that same style of like an individual, then that could kind of ruin the whole, or it doesn't ruin the whole motif, but it definitely just comes off as like, look at them trying to like mimic, like trying to be young,
Yeah.
It comes off as like, that's not stay in your lane type
You're
thing.
just starting to see it more, though. I mean, Barstool is now getting a Fox Sports pregame show for. I know that's like it's
I
football;
mean,
it's not the
look
same
at,
thing. But everybody's leaning in to the individual social media.
I mean, look at MacAffee.
Exactly, that's
Like-
what I was about to say. It's
Or
like
not McCaffrey, McAfee.
Pat
Yeah,
McAfee. Yes, it's like he built this brand, and now he's probably the biggest sports show on TV.
100%. I mean, I remember I walked into Capitol Grill one time and I saw he was on it, and I was like, this is bizarre. He's on every TV at noon. It's absurd. And I think that's the best way for these publications to do that, is to get in line with an established creator of some capacity, because I don't think they can really lift it up themselves.
Totally.
I think it's got to be
Completely agree with
something in
that.
conjunction. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's a really weird space at this point. I mean, I'm trying to have a serious conversation and look like what I'm wearing, but like the amount of views that, like,
You should be talking Spanish right now.
the amount of views that we're able to get, like, just through a podcast versus like them trying to put out content on the traditional way that we try to put out content, it's night and day. And it's something that it's just weird, and it's hard for them in like a leadership standpoint to kind of navigate, I'd imagine. And at some point, I don't know, you're gonna have to either make the change.
I
or
think
adjust
somebody
or
will do it
something.
eventually, and then it's gonna be like the floodgates are open. Like we need to like bring all these people on our team.
I can imagine it could happen, but the issue also right now is I think everyone's pinching pennies. Like
Definitely,
they would
yeah.
love to do that if economy was ironed out and things were kind of more fortuitous to spend money a little bit more frivolously, but like there's just not a time to really like take a risk on an influencer.
I mean, dude, if I was them, I would just one position. Say you're making like $60,000-$70,000 a year, just split that into 3 people, and then you're just making that part time. It's like I feel like that's an easy decision for if the Inquirer had you and Jacob and somebody else, like Josh Eats Philly or somebody was just like posting crazy amount of content every single day, that would be unstoppable.
That would be a crazy team. That'd
Yeah.
be like dream team in '90 whatever with the USA team.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia.
And then we
Phillies.
got like Chase U and Feeding Time Philly
Yeah,
somewhere else. It's like
Oh, and then Philly
everyone's
Mag gets people, and it's
Exactly.
just a whole war. There's
Exactly.
beef.
That'd be
Oh
sick.
wow, that'd be fun.
sick.
That'd be awesome.
So are you going to? You got the luchador mask on. Are you
Mm.
going to do the hoagie throwdown?
No, I saw about it. I'm not sure yet, but I feel like I have to in terms of it. I mean, it's,
We're gonna be there. You should go.
oh damn. All right, maybe I should then. Yeah, because I don't even remember the date, but I definitely should because I feel like
September 7th. I thought it was 2 weeks ago. I woke up Sunday. I texted him. I was like, "Are you ready to go?" I texted my other friend that I'm going with him. Like, "Yo, when are we meeting up?" And then I'm like, "This is next month."
Jump the gun,
I don't know what I'm doing.
oh man, I feel like I have to go. I mean, it's like food,
Yes,
wrestling.
Food and wrestling.
Yeah, I might have to get in the ring. That would be
You
awesome.
might be invited in that.
Yeah, I
way.
might get oiled up, wrestle. That'd be fun. Yeah, that would be. I might have to come through. Do you know where it's at? In terms
Is that
of
other half?
is it like an outside ring they set up?
I don't know. They're setting up a ring,
Probably the
and
outside,
there's
maybe.
hoagies everywhere. So
I think it's outside.
I saw some of the restaurants coming through it, and that's also compelling because like some of them are just the most out of like not hoagie places. Like I think like Cantina La Matina, which is like the taco place in Kensington. That's just
they're
phenomenal.
crushing it.
They're gonna make hoagies. I'm like, all right, that's gonna be the most crazy or like just crossover event
Yeah.
possible. I might have to check that out.
I'm curious, like how they're gonna like. What is the actual throwdown of like the hoagies and like the wrestler is gonna?
I don't know if it's like a voting thing or what. I mean, there's wrestling happening and there's lots of hoagies. So like whether the competition happens or not, I'm sure they are going to do a competition because I think they're giving out like a belt to the winner.
Yeah.
But I'm just going there to watch wrestling, eat hoagies.
I mean, what a better way to spend a Saturday?
Exactly.
So where did you find a Phillies Rey Mysterio mask?
So I found a spot in the Italian market. I was during the Italian Market Festival, the street festival, and it was a nightmare to try to get food, just because there were so many people there. But the one thing that caught my attention was there was this whole there was this, I don't know what type of store it was. It was just kind of like almost like Mexican culture general store of just kind of like knickknacks and stuff, and they just had a wall of luchador masks, and I just beelined right to it. I think I got like 6.
Oh, did you really?
I got so many. it was not financially a great decision, but I was like the Phillies one I got. I already had an Eagles one that I got from the Christmas Village.
You're not the guy who's the guy? A couple of years ago, someone jumped off a bus with a Eagles luchador mask on and a poncho.
It's funny when the
and
Eagles.
there's like a viral picture of him like diving off.
No, I wish that was me though. That'd be so cool. No, there's so many people that have DM'd me and were like, "Yo, I found you," and I was like, "Where?" And it would be like a random dude not in it would be like a different mask or like the same mask but not me. And I was like, "Next time, no." But oh my gosh, it was so funny when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. I was in the parade. I was in the teeth of it, and it was just so funny being masked up, and it was like I felt like comfortable. Like it was like, oh, everyone else is in mask, everyone else is looking outrageous. Like, oh, I'm normal. It's my people. That was the greatest thing ever.
Any other? Are they all Rey Mysterio masks, or did you find any other masks?
No, I have a bunch of other ones. The one I got was just kind of like a crappy, generic one of the Eagles. This is the Ray. I got a La Park one. If you know La Park. I got a Dr. Wagner Jr. If you know who that is.
I don't. Where?
He was like a TNA guy who his biggest notoriety was he got unmasked by a wrestler I do not like. His name is Psycho Clown. Gets ridiculous.
He's in AAA right now.
Is
right?
he? Yeah, he's in AAA right now.
Yeah.
But I just remember he got unmasked by Psycho Clown, and I was like devastated. And I was like a teenager. I was like, what am I doing? But yeah, I got those guys. There's some I would pick up, but they're a bit out of pocket. Like the Psychosis one. Do you know who that is?
Mm-hmm.
He's like the horns out here. And it's just like, I don't know if that'd be a real practical pickup, as if any are practical. But having the horns, trying to just walk into my house, like, oh shit, can't do that. No. So, no. But
I was an AEW guy right when it started.
Oh, same.
And because I was at Temple when AEW just started.
You went to La Caucus Center and all, or whatever it's said. La Chorus, yeah.
There's I think it was our 4th event. All of us went.
I might have been there. 100%.
But like now, Penta is a huge WWE guy.
Yep.
And his mask is sick.
I love Penta's.
He's so cool.
It's so cool.
And Ray Phoenix.
He's got the white paint. Yeah, it's so sick. Ray Phoenix is so cool. Or Ray Phoenix, he's definitely the most underrated probably right now. But you go into 2300 for their show. Did you hear about that?
I did. I don't know if I am or not.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence, but I'd love to. 2300 is this like arena. You know ECW back in the day?
Yeah. 2300's down in Southeast Philly.
That was like the mecca of ECW, and they're starting to rerun shows there. It's a very small venue, but like it's gonna be so like.
They do boxing there a lot.
Do they? I'm not shocked, but yeah, it's gonna be a small venue, but it's gonna be just like packed to the gills with like rabid, old timer ECW fans. So it's gonna be electric. I'm so excited.
Philly, Monday Night Raw was in Philly this past week actually. And they just did a lot. Like they called out ECW quite a bit.
Yeah, they had Cooper DeJean was there with what's his name, Big Dom.
I saw Big Dom Cooper.
Davo. If anyone has a contact at Davo Philly, we want him on because that dude. You have a mask on. Who the fuck is Davo Philly? He knows everybody in the world, but like, how does he know everybody in the world? I don't know.
Yeah, no idea. I always love Big Dom though.
Yeah. He's like a WWE character into himself, you know.
Oh, he's got another level of mystique too.
At some point, I feel like they're gonna pull him into wrestling. Like he's become like this like Philly legend. At some point, at some Philly wrestling event, they'll probably pull him up on stage.
I would love if some dude was like an asshole Cowboys fan, like went in the ring like out of nowhere, and then Big Dom just clotheslines him. That'd be phenomenal. Oh my god, yeah. Big Dom is meant for it. He's such a character.
Yeah.
But he's also just an intimidating menace.
Yeah.
How did you not need that? You need that dude in the ring.
He was built for wrestling.
100%.
I'm loving it. Wrestling's like feels really hot again.
Yeah, I think AEW is definitely kind of the.
It was the catalyst. It's not a great spot right now.
I think it's on the upswing, especially because WWE is doing a lot of fuck shit. Honestly, they're just getting into weird messes with like the buyout with UFC.
It's true.
I'm not gonna get too crazy into it, but yeah, WWE is definitely kind of in a weird phase right now.
and it's like trying to cater to not wrestling fans. It's like it's getting the celebrities in there, which like I don't know who really wants that. There's probably people, but I think like I'm just like a athleticism mark. Like I just want to see like people do crazy shit. So WWE is a little bit more for the kids, for my taste.
Cool. So you have what the Instagram and the map.
Yep.
What do you see like the kind of the future of the Djour Philly?
I don't know. That's a good question.
And it's the Djour Philly, but you have New York, right? What other cities do you have?
So I don't have any Instagrams for any other city, but my map spans pretty crazy. My big plan right now, it's a ridiculous overhaul, but I'm making a world map where it's kind of becoming a recommendation map based upon.
Yeah, I went on there today, and there was the you had like the countrywide, and it was like there's a couple breweries on there.
Yeah.
But it was like just outside of like your normal zone.
Yeah, no, the world one's getting crazy. So far, I'm really only placing like notable publications. So I have like a James Beard feature that shows the winners and also the nominees. One thing I think is extremely underrated with like awards and all that kind of fanfare. Like think about like an Emmy or an Oscar winner. If you also look at the nominees that didn't win it, they're also probably really good.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same thing with food awards. Like it can be a little semantical and who knows why they actually won. Is it actually that much better than the rest? Probably not, but it's probably in the same vein.
It's definitely good.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not
You know
saying
what I'm saying? No, that's what I'm saying. Like you get nominated, like you're good.
100%. And I think there's not enough celebration of nominees.
Yeah.
So I mapped out all the nominees as well. It's kind of in one filter. So, and it also kind of for me is like just a research nerd and a food nerd. I get to like see like where the hot spots are kind of, because my plan is I do the James Beards in a 5-year span. So it keeps things relevant because, you know, if a place won a James Beard in like 2002, it's like that either might not exist anymore or it might not just be as good. It might have sold out. Who knows? But keeping it relevant is nice to actually, you know, just keep things fresh and seeing kind of what's budding and what's hot, which is kind of a cool way to kind of visualize where things are kind of popping up in terms of like credibility in like awards, I suppose, you know. Same with nominees because, for example, I don't think this might be wrong, but I'm just gonna take a guess. But like places like Puerto Rico, they've been getting a lot of James Beard nominations. I don't know if they've won anything, but there's so many places. They had like 6 or 7 in the past 5 years that have been nominated, and it's just cool to be like, I would never thought about that, you know. So it's just cool to see like those pockets of areas where you don't think about. So I have that with James Beard, Michelin. The cool 2 things I've been doing, I made an Action Bronson map, which that was cool. Have you ever watched the show Fuck That's Delicious?
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite shows of all time. I crushed that in college, like to the death. And I mapped out every place. I was on like a plane just doing the whole thing, and I was just like nodding out. I was like losing my mind. But it was so much work going through every episode, but it was so rewarding to see it, and people love it. Like I posted it on Reddit, and that blew up. Like a lot of people loved it because it was just showed a lot of effort and passion, and also just a cool tool, you know. It was,
definitely.
So Action Bronson. Now I'm working on Anthony Bourdain. That one is very so much harder because he went a lot of places.
Yeah.
Today I'm at Mozambique, which is a company in Africa, and I'm at the M's, and I'm like, I'm mapping Mozambique. I'm like halfway there. God damn. But so funny. But it's so cool just to kind of see it happen live, and just like the more I do, the more I see the map, I'm like, holy crap, there's so many places out there, and just, I don't know, it's always exciting just working on projects like this.
We ask everybody that comes on that's like the like kind of food reviewer, food influencer type people. I guess recommendations as far as like kind of like unknown places for food, but like also you review beer. Like, what are your thoughts on kind of like the Philly beer scene? Like, what do you think the places to hit up are? Like, we're kind of like so in the scene that like it's nice to hear like your perspective. Like, what?
I'm definitely not as fluent in beer as.
But that's what we want to hear. You know, not everybody's. Like, most people are customers. Like, we want to see what you guys are into.
So we'll start with beer. I mean, I've got an affinity for Love City. I had a friend that put me onto it, and I'm definitely more of an atmosphere guy.
Yeah.
I'm definitely less of like, because I'm at the point with like my taste and palate for beer where I don't really have, like, I can tell the difference between a good and a bad, but I don't really have that level of nuance.
You just like the vibe of the brewery.
Relatively. Like, I definitely want it to be good beer. I don't want it to be shit beer in a cool place, but I do kind of like that balance.
Love City has that balance down, in my opinion. They have good beer, and then the vibes are electric. So that's definitely up there for me. Any other ones off? I really, really have wanted to try Concrete Blues, but I can't get out there really. I don't have a car.
You have to go to you go to Meetinghouse ever? They have good food.
I
there.
haven't had yet, but I know that's definitely on my radar.
So check out Meetinghouse. They have great food. Meetinghouse itself has good beer, but then they also
They don't brew themselves, do they?
Concrete Blues.
No, not Meetinghouse.
Meetinghouse brews at Tonewood.
Okay.
Concrete Blues
there you go. That'll be my
brews
next.
at Carbon Copy.
Yeah.
And he used to work. Does he still work at Carbon Copy?
He worked at Meetinghouse, I know, and then went.
He
to
still
Carbon
works at
Copy.
Meetinghouse.
Oh, I get you.
So it's cool. Yeah, so it's cool that like he's serving his own beer at Meetinghouse.
That makes sense. But yeah, I know Meetinghouse is very attention to detail and quality of beer and food, and it's not too upscale in their food, but it's very like approachable but quality, which I think is.
It's Philly upscale, you know.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's like it's not fancy, but it's great, and it's like well intentioned. But it's not like white tablecloth super fancy.
I think that's what makes Philly one of the best food scenes is like that it's approachable but quality. Like they don't have time for shit places. They'll be vocal about it. Don't worry about that. But there's still an understanding that like there's not a lot of frou-frou spots. You know, there's not a lot of like Michelin star-esque vibes. It's more so like grounded in their approach in terms of like being affordable, being approachable, and optimizing their product. So it's less on the menu, but it's damn good.
Do you think that's going to change with the Michelin Guide coming?
Oh boy,
Good question.
it's a great question. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a lot of the same. There might
the
be
Michelin Guide won't know what hit him. It's like
I think there's gonna be tons on the guide. So like how that works is like how like Michelin has the guide of recommendations and then stars. I think the guide is gonna be chock full of places. Stars though, I mean, it's gonna be tough. Because also there's a level of service. There's a lot of elements to it. But the other thing interesting with Michelin is like they've been super laissez-faire and like not as strict on like their ruling. I don't know if you've noticed that, but like they gave it to a food truck in Austin, Texas. They're giving it way more liberally, and there could be some trickle-ins of some stars in some very casual places, but I don't think it's really gonna change the food scene all too much. There might be a couple people that try to stake their claim, but nothing like too aggressive, at least yet.
Who do you think some names might be? Because we were trying to think about this we were talking about this recently.
I mean, it's got to be like Zahav and Kalaya are like like the two most talked about places in Philly. Recently, Mon.
Well, that's the tough thing with like.
But I don't know if these there are like just cool new places that people talk about, or like what's the most high quality. Like, I'm not eating at fancy restaurants all the time.
I don't think Zahav's gonna get a star solely based on the premise of they've kind of had the same menu for like 15 years. I think it's one of the best. At the time, it was one of the best restaurants. It's still doing the same thing it's been doing. It's quality of what it does. But I just think.
But does the Michelin Guide care about that, or is it just like there's a lot of places in New York? I don't go to these fancy places in New York, but I feel like there's a lot of places in New York that like just don't change their menu. They're just like the fanciest French restaurants.
So well, that's the annoying thing is like the places that do that, they've been doing it for years.
Yeah. And
have already had the star. Like they got it like 20 years ago, and they've just been consistently doing the same.
Yeah.
And that's enough, or maybe a little change, but not that much. Zahav, I think it could get it, but I think it's in that weird spot of like it's been in the same menu, so there could be a little like I think it'll probably get it realistically, but I don't know. I think it's gonna depend on how they see the city.
And how does it work? Do they give like a certain number of stars to each city, or is it
No.
just like you hit a certain criteria?
There's some cities that don't even have stars. They just have guides. I think it'll depend on. I don't know. Honestly, I think we might get like 2 or 3. I think it's gonna be very light amount, but I think it's still gonna have to have that like fine dining feng shui. I think a real front runner is Provenance. Have you ever heard of that?
Provenance, no.
Yeah, that's a Korean French.
Korean French.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a little frou-frou. Certainly, it's like a chef tasting. Like it's all it is. It's just like almost like this is the table, and there's like 8. It's like a U shape, and it's just you see the kitchen. And they have like 5 waiters for like 10 people. Like there's so much.
There's only like 10 people in the whole place.
Yeah, the whole place is like 10 people. There's like 5-6 people just hustling back there, like for you. It's super like hospitable, which is awesome. It's almost like anti-Philly in a weird way. Like it's so like nice and presentable and like something you'd seen maybe like in New York, but like I feel like that place has a good shot.
Where's that at?
Queen Village,
Okay.
kind of next to like you ever hear Bloomsday? You know what that is? It's like a wine bar.
No, actually.
It's like right down the block. I think they have a good shot of it,
About
especially.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I know they won James Beard.
I wouldn't be shocked, especially because not only have they been killing it with like the restaurant, they almost won James Beard this year with their bar, Lovers Bar,
Yeah.
which is I think basement or top floor is one or the other, but yeah, they've been doing really well. I think they have a full range to possibly get one, but I feel like it's gonna be limited. Yeah, it could be like that. I think Zahav. I think maybe Provenance. I think Ambra is a really quality spot. I don't know if you ever heard of that. That's another like free fine dining, but like quality.
You think it all has to hit that some like sort of element?
Yeah, unfortunately, I had a hot. Of course, I'm throwing out hot takes, so that's my that helps.
You got the mask. You can say whatever you want.
I know. I almost was thinking. I was like, listen, if they're giving out if they're giving out Michelin stars to like, I don't know, a food truck for barbecue in Austin, give John's Roast Pork one. I want that. I'm gonna be honest. I want a legacy spot that is like a cheesesteak. I feel like would be crazy, but like imagine a Michelin star cheesesteak spot. It's as dumb as it is possible.
No,
which
it's
would be
cool.
funny.
Monica's friend just won a Michelin star in Oaxaca. This place called Noise, and you know, like I don't know if she was there the night of, or like, you know, she was like getting videos of it, but it was like, you know, like it changes kind of like the whole trajectory of your business at that point. You know?
Everything changes. Like you have so much more. Well, it's a little bit of financial comfort, but then it goes away because then you have to meet the expectations.
It's the pressure.
There's so much pressure.
But still, it's like for the next year, anyone coming to town, it's just like, this is a Michelin star restaurant.
Oh yeah, tourists are immediately glued to your spot. If you get a star, it's like that's where so many.
And you have to earn it every year, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, relatively. I think some places definitely have like you don't have to bust your ass. Like legacy places that it's almost like tenured in a way. Like, granted, they're definitely still critical, but like there's a little respect for like some legacy spots. But yeah, you can definitely lose a star like as soon as you get it. That's happened before, and I think the Michelin star. I'm actually annoyed that it's coming to Philly just because I feel like it could throw off some quality places we already know if they really try it for it. But like I said, there's not that.
Dude, I don't agree with you. I know people are saying that, and it's like gonna throw off the vibe of the city. But I feel like Philadelphia is constantly just put in this thing where like we don't want to deal with your bullshit, but then we're always thought of as second fiddle. And like we do have the food that's as good as these other places. We have like everything that's as good as like you know, we can compete with these other giant cities, and it's like we're constantly.
I agree. I think it's
gonna be a weird vibe. I think it'll change things, but
I think it's more so. I think it's just a little bit of gatekeeping. I don't think people. I think people in Philadelphia want to keep Philly. I don't think they want. There's already like a wave of transplants from New York always happening and shit. So like I can totally imagine people are saying it in the guise of like, nah, keep Philly. We want like our like kind of grungy blue collar energy to like be the forefront, and Michelin kind of is the counter to it.
Yeah,
I get that. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool to be like fuck you to them, but at the same time, it's like it does make a lot of sense in terms of like notoriety in business. The one thing that would truly piss me off is if they gave more stars to a place like Boston. Like no offense, but our food scene definitely is on another level, and I just want us to get the recognition. I don't want to get.
I mean, you've seen it with the James Beard Awards the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So we've like, you know, that's national award, and we've like like 2-3 years ago we like almost clean sweeped it.
Oh yeah,
this for the most out of any city last year.
Yeah, this year we did some numbers, and we had a lot of nominations and got some awards with like Mon and stuff like that. And no, I think James Beard is definitely the way to go if you're looking for like a quality source of recommendation, because that one's way more focused on like the chefs itself, and also I don't know, it just has a little bit more like I don't know how to describe it. Michelin kind of feels like something for tourists, where James Beard comes from a place of like just pure foodiness.
Yeah.
Whether it's service, wine, beer, anything under that umbrella, I think comes from a place of like positivity and less about just like trying to get people to spend a boatload of money on a place.
Yeah.
So at least personally, I always look at James Beard's if I'm in a new city over Michelin stars.
No, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that wave is like really started to hit as well. I feel that way a lot recently. Just James Beard.
I think
has
also
more value. I guess it's in a state. It's a stage thing too, right? Like
kind of. So James Beard has levels to it. There's like New York. New York State has their own classification. California has their own classification. Philly's a part of like Mid-Atlantic. So I've done a lot of research because one thing I did a lot of finding out is who's actually winning the more awards, constituting like quality of restaurants per capita. So it's biased though when it comes down to New York and California or LA because they have basically their own categories, which makes sense because they have a lot of new restaurants that are worthy of awards.
But there's more restaurants in New York than Philadelphia, but do they have more restaurants than Philadelphia, Boston, DC, and everybody else that we're competing against?
That's a good question.
Yeah, they probably don't.
It's
like
they probably don't, but that's why there's the category of like there's like the Mid-Atlantic. I think there's a New England one, so like Boston, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire has their own section. I think it's relatively spaced out in terms of like openings and stuff like that, but the Philadelphia centricness, it's a little bit pigeonholed in a category, but also benefiting in a category that doesn't have as many competition. Like
Yeah.
Baltimore is a good town for food, but it's definitely not on the same level as Philly. Or what else is in that category? DC, that's a competitor for sure, but. Yeah, it's just a balance of that. My findings from all that research was per capita. I think New Orleans was probably the best food city based on the awards. New Orleans for sure.
that makes sense.
Per capita, yeah, it makes a lot of sense because it's a smaller city and their food's crazy. They
You've
just
been out
deal.
there?
I wish
I was out there. Yeah.
for
Oh,
eating or
okay.
boozing. That's an important question.
Honestly, it was more eating. I would say.
So I've been there I think twice, and my kind of vibe with the city: great food, great drinking town,
Oh yeah.
very dirty.
Oh yeah. My one friend always loves to bring that up.
There's I've like never seen more people just pee in the street, and it just like has this general just like odor about it. But the food was amazing there, and it was just like the entire place was just like I could just drink all day here.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's an interesting dichotomy of like it is repulsive on the streets, but once you get inside, it's like every restaurant is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
And
weird.
Southern comfort on the inside too.
Weird balance of how you're projecting yourself and how it actually is on the inside.
No, but it's cool that a city has, it's not just like it's a big city. It has its own, vibe to it. You know?
Yeah.
There's some cities I don't want to piss anybody off, like Columbus, big city.
Tough.
What sort of vibe does Columbus have?
They barely. No, Columbus, those like middle of the country cities are in a tough spot. It's just like a weird mix of like the demand's not there.
And dude, I feel the same way. Yeah, I feel like everyone gets pissed off when you talk about their city. Like people from Columbus are getting pissed off. But like, I'm not gonna talk shit. But like, New Orleans has its own culture.
100%.
That's very, very unique.
Yeah, I think the French culture of it is what also leads to high quality food being at the forefront. I think that's something that kind of is significant about French cuisine is the emphasis of quality and butter. But outside of that, I think that definitely helps with New Orleans food getting such high praise.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Awesome. Do you have anything else?
Nah, dude, this has been a great conversation.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck
this is
yeah.
fun.
I'm loving it.
Yeah. I'll be
Awesome.
back tomorrow. Let me know.
So, where can we find you? Like djour.philly?
Yeah, djour.philly on Instagram or TikTok. rdjour. I have a subreddit where I kind of post relatively the same stuff with the map. And if you want to see the map, djourformore.com.
Cool. Also, if you're Inquirer, anybody else,
Please.
hire this man.
I would love it.
You're going to pump all your numbers. You're going to get way better content. Let's make it happen.
It's the least I can do.
All right, then you can follow us at Brewdat, at the Brewdat Podcast. Subscribe on YouTube, and we'll see you guys next week. Cool. Thank you.
Oh, hell yeah.